Does her version of events line up with the events that you actually witnessed?
Pushes him down, and I went crazy. I was like, oh my God, what are you doing to my kid?
Yes, I did have to, put my hands on him.
Here for case number 7101, Angelina Suarez versus Dr. Maria Garcia. Miss Garcia, good morning.
Good morning.
Why are you back in my courtroom?
Thanks to this wonderful.
Oh, gosh. Ms. Suarez, before we get started, I just want you to know that I am familiar with Dr. Garcia. She's a doctor at Mango General. I've dealt with her many times, but although I have an acquaintance to knowing her, that will not affect my judgment or anything that I say in this courtroom. Are we clear on that?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Suarez, it shows here that you're suing Dr. Garcia for the amount of $150,000 for emotional distress and severe injury. Am I reading this correctly?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Tell me, what brings you to court today?
Well, it was a beautiful afternoon, and I decided to take my son to the park.
Okay.
My son is 5 years old.
Okay.
And he was
what's your
playing.
son's name? I'm just curious.
Oh, his name is Geraldo.
Geraldo. Okay.
Yes. And he was playing in the park, and everything was going great. I turned over to a second to get some water from the water fountain, and all of a sudden I hear commotion, and I hear screaming, and there's kids running, and then all of a sudden I see this lady running to my son, and she like pushes him down, and I went crazy. I was like, oh my God, what are you doing to my kid? What are you doing to my kid?
Okay.
And then I totally freaked out. I don't know what. Look at me. Like, I'm trembling. It was so like crazy and chaotic, and
traumatic.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I was about to call 911 because I don't know if she was attacking my child or something was happening.
What else? What else did happen with your child?
He all of a sudden he was on the floor and he was like knocked out. I don't know.
He was knocked out?
He was knocked out.
She knocked him out?
Huh?
Did she knock him out?
I'm not sure. I all of a sudden I was, like I said, I was drinking water from the water. If I turn around and the kids were going crazy. It was so chaotic. It was like I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand what was going on.
I'm assuming you left the water fountain to investigate why Dr. Garcia was near your child. Am I?
Correct.
Okay.
I ran to her.
Okay, and what happened when you got to that location, to that spot?
She was on top of him. She had something on her hand. I don't know what it was. And then all of a sudden, my son like woke up. Like he woke up and he was like, Mom. And I was like, baby, what's wrong? What's wrong?
The thing in her hand, what was it?
I couldn't tell. She was still holding on to it. I couldn't tell.
Okay.
I called 911 and they came right away.
Okay. When you say they, who is they? The police?
The 911. I called 911.
Okay. So EMT showed up.
EMT showed up.
Okay. What did they do or say?
Well, they actually said that she probably might have saved his life, but I'm not sure because my kid has a mild concussion. He has bruisings on his arm.
Okay.
I mean, it is, and he's so
I'm curious about something. The distance from where your child was playing versus the location of this water fountain, how far is that?
I would
give
say
or take?
About 20 feet.
About 20 feet? Okay. Dr. Garcia.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why did you attack this woman's child?
I saved this woman's child's life because he was obviously an anaphylactic shock. Me, as a doctor and a mother with a very highly allergic child, could see the signs. He had trouble breathing. He had swelling of the face and the lips, bluish skin. So I acted as a medical professional and I administer an EpiPen. The thing that she says that I stabbed
that
him
thing
with.
that you had in your hand.
It's an EpiPen.
It was an EpiPen.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So if I wouldn't have acted, he would have cardiac arrest, respiratory problems, and probably he would have died within minutes. Medical ethics at a time of emergency prioritizes saving a life versus whatever consent or formalities she was expecting at the moment.
Ms. Suarez, does her version of events line up with the events that you actually witnessed?
That I actually witnessed.
Yes,
She
I'm
was
talking about.
already-
I'm talking about from the time you turned around and you saw the chaos and everything. Does it line up? Because it kind of lines up with me as well.
Yeah.
So my question to you would be, why are you suing for $150,000?
It's to pay for the bills that I'm gonna have to pay to get a doctor to analyze my son and see why he's so emotionally distressed, where he can't even see a medical professional or police or anybody in the business, you know, in the cop or medical staff, because of all the trauma that happened.
I understand it, but here's where I'm a little lost. Here's where I'm confused at. Your child had a medical episode. Your child did this child collapse?
Yes, which
I didn't see that.
The
You didn't see
concussion.
that? Your child was on the ground, correct?
Yes, I was drinking water and I turned around and he was on the ground and she was on top of him.
Okay.
She thinks that I trampled the kid into the ground. I arrived because I saw him on the ground. He collapsed.
That's what I
Mind you, the concussion,
Okay.
the bruises. Yes, I did have to, put my hands on him, and he was having oxygen deprivation, so it's easy for him to bruise.
Okay.
my son's never had anything. I've never known of my son having to use a pen or anything like that. This is the first time this has happened in my
the
life.
sad reality is this. Okay, here's the sad reality with the EpiPen. Sometimes when there is a medical emergency, you don't know what could trigger that because, like you said, it's never happened before. It's sort of like a person that eats a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and now they're having an allergic reaction to the peanut butter, and you sit there and say, well, I've never had a problem before. Well, have you ever eaten peanut butter before? No. Okay, now you understand that you can't do that. It's just like me. I can't eat, seafood because I will have an allergic reaction to it.
This is my baby. It's my only child, and anything happens to him, I would freak out. And this has never happened to him, so I
okay.
totally freaked
Well,
out.
how did you know to sue this person? How did you come across that?
Well, when I filed a report, that's when they gave me her information, and I don't have money. I'm hardly making ends meet, and then I have to pay for the medical bills in order to get my son analyzed.
Okay.
Because he's traumatized.
Okay, but how can he be traumatized if he wasn't aware of what was happening to him? That's where I'm lost at.
I believe he's traumatized.
You're probably traumatized by what happened, but he's 5 years old. He has absolutely no clue what's going on because if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, he was kind of out of it, maybe even unconscious.
Yes. Could be.
So how can he be traumatized if he's not mentally aware of what's going on? You see what I'm saying? Now, I can understand you being traumatized for not understanding what's going on. But let me ask you a question, Dr. Garcia. Did you go to a university to learn your trade?
Yes.
Okay. Undergrad school?
Yes.
You graduated?
Absolutely.
Did you have to go to medical school?
Yes.
Did you graduate?
Yes.
Okay. After that, correct me if I'm wrong or not, you have to do a residency?
Yes.
Okay. Did you complete your residency?
Yes.
Okay. Are you certified by the state to practice medicine?
I am, sir.
Okay. Here's the thing. In this state, we have something called the Good Samaritan Act. Okay? Being a trained medical professional, if she acts in a manner that satisfies her training and occupation, whether she causes bruises, maybe breaks a bone, whatever, if she's acting under the guise of her medical profession, she is covered by law.
Oh.
You understand that?
I didn't know that.
Okay, that's why the law is in effect. Because sometimes when you take medical action to help someone, you've heard the old saying, sometimes you have to break an egg to make omelets. You've heard something like that?
Yes.
Sometimes medicine works the same way. If you want open heart surgery, you're going to have to cut somebody open to save their life. In your case, it was an EpiPen to save your child's life. And it appears to me that is what happened. So your suit for $150,000, I am not going to grant you that. If anything, and you're a grown woman, I can't tell you what to do. I would be grateful for her service and for what she did to save your child's life. Hell, you may want to take it a step further and buy her some flowers. But again, I can't tell you what to do. All right? But this case is dismissed.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank the courts for making me realize that Dr. Garcia was actually in the right. And I want to thank her for saving my son's life. At the same time, I did not know about the Good Samaritan Act, and I'm so glad that Judge Porter made that aware to myself. And I will definitely check out my son to see if he has any allergies, which I didn't know. But I definitely want to give thanks to Dr. Garcia for saving my son's life.
I want to say thank you to Judge Porter for being Judge Porter and saving the day and being so just and clear. I hope Ms. Juarez will find peace in knowing that her child is going to live. And I will suggest her to take him to a specialist because he's definitely allergic to something. Thank you, Judge Porter. Hope